Welcome everyone. In our previous sessions, we explored different ways of developing a calm and stable mind. Today, we will discuss another valuable contemplation that can inspire our meditation practice. This is meditation on senior meditators. Before we begin, I would like to make one point very clear. The short reflection exercises that I will occasionally suggest during today's talk are not the actual meditation practice. They are simply brief methods to help us understand the qualities we are discussing and prepare our minds for deeper meditation later. Let us begin. When we first think about meditation, we usually think of it as something the mind does to obtain peace, happiness, and wisdom. If that is so, where do experienced meditators fit into this process? Isn't the great teacher and the path he discovered already sufficient to guide us? The answer is yes. The teacher discovered the complete path entirely by his own effort. According to his teaching, every person has the potential to follow that path and eventually reach the same highest level of mental development. However, people differ greatly in their aspirations, abilities, and circumstances. Some are prepared to dedicate their entire lives to reaching the highest possible spiritual achievement. Others may simply wish to develop a peaceful, stable, compassionate, and disciplined life through meditation. Both groups can benefit from meditation, although their goals and levels of commitment may be different. For those following the second approach, senior meditators become extremely valuable role models. These are people who have already transformed their lives through sincere practice. They demonstrate that meditation is not merely a theory, but something that can truly change a person's behavior, attitude, and inner peace. Their example gives us confidence that progress is possible. Let us think about a familiar example. In modern management, organizations often use a method called benchmarking. They compare themselves with organizations that perform better, identify the differences, and gradually improve. Children naturally do something similar. They choose role models, parents, teachers, athletes, or other respected people, and try to imitate their good qualities. Meditation on senior practitioners works in much the same way. Instead of comparing ourselves with others in a competitive sense, we simply observe admirable qualities and allow them to inspire our own development. Here I would like to suggest our first short reflection. Again, this is not the meditation itself. Simply spend a few moments remembering a person whose calmness, honesty, kindness, or patience has genuinely inspired you. Do not analyze every detail. Just allow that quality to come to your mind for a few seconds. Notice how even this brief recollection can gently settle the mind. When we describe experienced meditators, we often use words such as disciplined, honest, patient, compassionate, or straightforward. But these words are only symbols. Each person may understand them slightly differently. That is perfectly acceptable. Today's explanations are simply one interpretation that I personally find inspiring. If another interpretation helps you more, you are free to use it. The important point is not the word itself. The important point is the behavior that the word represents. There is another interesting principle. We cannot imitate a noun, we can only imitate an action. For example, saying someone is straight does not tell us what to do. Instead, we must think of becoming straight, acting honestly, correcting mistakes, and choosing integrity repeatedly. The same applies to every admirable quality. Every quality becomes meaningful only when it is expressed through action. This simple way of thinking can help us not only in meditation but also in our daily lives. Let us have another brief reflection. Again, this is only a preparatory exercise. Think of one quality you genuinely admire in an experienced meditator or another good role model. Now ask yourself, what small action could I take today that moves me one step closer to that quality? There is no need for a complicated answer. Even one small step is enough. Every meaningful journey begins with learning. Before we can practice correctly, we need proper guidance. We listen carefully. We remember what we have learned. We reflect on it. We ask questions when necessary. Eventually, we become convinced that this is the correct path. Finally, we make a sincere commitment to follow it. This first commitment is itself an important mental action. Without it, progress remains uncertain. The second major step is equally important. It involves gradually reducing the influence of three powerful sources that often guide our behavior in unhelpful directions. The first is the constant demands of the body, which naturally seeks immediate comfort and satisfaction. The second is the influence of our old habits that have become deeply established over many years. The third is the advice, opinions, or examples of people around us who may themselves not be following a wholesome path. This does not mean we suddenly reject all these influences. Rather, whenever we recognize that they are leading us away from our chosen direction, we make the effort to correct ourselves. Each correction strengthens our commitment. Gradually, honest and wholesome behavior becomes more natural. Let us pause for another very short reflection. Remember, this is not the meditation practice itself. Simply ask yourself, when I recognize a mistake, do I sincerely try to correct it? That willingness to correct ourselves is one of the qualities we repeatedly observe in successful meditators. As meditation develops further, practitioners encounter more subtle forms of attachment. These require deeper understanding and much more advanced practice. Today's discussion is not intended to explain those advanced methods. Instead, our purpose is much simpler. We are learning how to gain inspiration by observing those who have already made progress. Their lives remind us that transformation is possible. Their conduct encourages us when our own motivation becomes weak. Their example gives direction to our own practice. Please remember that the explanation given today is only a simplified introduction. It is not the complete meditation method. It is simply a way of beginning to appreciate the qualities of worthy role models and preparing the mind to benefit from contemplating them. As your understanding and meditation mature, these reflections will gradually become deeper and more meaningful. Thank you for joining me today. May your practice continue to grow with patience, wisdom, and steady determination. In our next session, we will begin examining the practical factors that support the growth of these qualities in everyday life and how they gradually transform our thoughts, speech, and actions. As always, our aim is not only to understand these principles intellectually, but also to apply them in a way that brings greater peace, stability, and lasting happiness into our lives. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you in the next session.